I'm not going to even attempt a bad set of rap lyrics, so
I appreciate it.
Yeah, so do I.
Music. Well, hi there. Happy Wednesday. It's June 26, 2019. I'm Eric, talking at you as always from beautiful downtown Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, where they say absence makes the heart grow fonder, unless you're waiting for your cardiologist.
It makes it beat harder. A little more sense of urgency.
Hey, Gord.
How you doing, Eric?
Remember how we used to do a show together? We should try that again. That was fun.
We should definitely do that sometime. That'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, man, have I missed this. I've been going absolutely batty without it. Hello, world. Thanks for joining us, the few of you who are still with us. Welcome.
I officially understand what it's like to miss your therapist.
Yeah, right? And there was so much I needed to talk to you about that... It's just been insane. So I'm really glad we're back. Big things happening. Good equipment. Finally, we're not going to have a problem anymore. We fixed the sound issues, I think. Everything's
excellent.
So hi. Actually, before I get to that, I wanted to say, first of all, I do have to thank our brand new associate producer, Adrien Segur. Is it Segur? Segur? Do you know
Segur.
Adrien Segur.
Segur.
He is now officially an associate producer here on What If We're Right. So we'll be contacting him for his thoughts and opinions occasionally. And he's more than welcome to call in and offer them whenever he likes. And that's going to be possible from now on because we can take calls and stuff pretty soon. Starting tomorrow.
Oh, that is super exciting.
And we have, on the week off, I never actually take a week off. So what I've done is I've spent the week developing what I call the NMFA podcasting technology.
The NMFA.
That's right. I developed it myself.
What is that?
It's the no more fucking around technology. It's very complicated. But it involves me trying to act like a frickin' professional once in a while. And getting the most out of our podcasting equipment. Sorry, I'm a little out of sorts. I'm rusty.
Is it a weird thing that I've actually, because I did that one guest appearance on the other podcast, that I'm actually a little more in tune with this than you are right now?
That's very cool. I haven't even had the chance to hear it yet. Is it up?
I'm going to be honest, I haven't heard it yet either.
I will check it out. I apologize. I haven't had the ability to even listen to a podcast, let alone broadcast one, so you can't imagine what this week has been like. I had no phone, no computer. I was completely cut off from the world. It was terrible.
That must have been very frustrating.
But I did see an old friend of mine, an old colleague who listens to the show, apparently.
Yeah.
And I got what I think is the best review we've ever gotten so far.
Nice.
He's a gentleman I respect quite a bit. And he came up to me and he said, there is a lot of really good ideas in there. And I said, well, thank you. He goes, and you have to sift through a lot of shit to get to them.
Which means we're great for politics.
I just thought that is exactly the best review we could have got. You got to sit through a lot of shit, but you get to a good idea every once in a while. And I thought, that's pretty much what we're going for. Kind of hit the nail on the head.
Nailed it. Yeah, exactly.
But very cool that he's a fan. And we have, even in our absence, we lost a couple fans, I'm not going to lie. Hopefully we can drag them back. But
that's something I've actually wondered. What do you mean that we lost? How did we lose numbers? It just means that people just weren't listening to previous episodes?
I guess so, yeah. Our listenership dropped to just over 5,000.
Well, that's okay. That just means that 5,000 we're catching up on some of the older stuff, which I'm cool with.
The
new ones just want new equipment, so that's okay. We can get them the new shit.
I absolutely hope that's what it was. I can't pull up our stats right now here, but there is a whole bunch of new cities popping up, which is so super cool to me.
Very awesome.
All over the States, just huge, and all over Canada. Some weird place called Milton. There's been some people listening.
Yeah, baby. Have we actually hit more than like 2 people in this town?
I will have to look that up. I'm not too sure.
Oh, it's exciting. I'd like to know who's been listening here.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. And we had our first entry into our logo competition, which is very cool.
And they're really good.
Yeah, they are. They're amazing. That's all from one person. And she just knocked it out of the park. I was a little bit jealous, actually. Yeah,
it was very, very impressive. Now, like, the actual logo that she came up with, did she come up with that too?
No, that was mine. I had done, because I wanted to make T-shirts. Remember, I put up last week before all this shit hit the fan, I put up a thing that said T-shirt idea.
Yep.
And yeah, she went with that and used that for her logos, which is creative and awesome. So, way to go. She is in Peachland here in British Columbia.
There's a town called Peachland?
There is. And
that is
Peach, she belongs there. We've got listeners in Indianapolis, Halifax, Highland Park, Tennessee, Kansas City, and then the usual suspects, Vancouver, Brandon, North Vancouver, Halifax, which I think is cool. Then going a little further, New Zealand, Hong Kong, Norway, Indonesia, and Brazil.
Oh, we've got some Brazil. That's awesome.
So, very cool. While we did drop a little bit in numbers, we got some obviously new listeners in new places, which I love. So tell me where you're at and why you listen to the show. It's eric@ericandgord.com, and those emails are going to mean the world in the next recording session here, the next, say, 6 months. Any contribution email, Facebook hits especially, all going to look really good. So if you guys could pitch in a little bit, the show just gets bigger and better every time you help it get that way.
That's right.
That's about all I'm going to do about that for now.
That's really exciting. Holy crap.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
I cannot get over how international we are. That's just fucking wild.
It's crazy. And we're about to get real big in China. Trust me. So just in case you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it's time for the show to come up with one single logo that's going to define us for a long, long time. And we're certainly not capable of handling that responsibility. So we're putting it on you guys. You can choose some of the logos I've designed over the last year and pick your favorite to be our permanent logo, or you can design your own and send it into ericandgord.com or Facebook or Instagram, or we'll just throw it on the net somewhere. I'll find it. Winners are going to get a fantastic prize, which is going to be announced at probably the end of next week. And your logo, or your choice of our logo, will become the new permanent identification for Eric and Gord, which I'm very excited about having one. I already have my favorites, but if the next entries are anything like the ones we've already gotten, my opinion is going to change a lot.
By the way, I'm not going to mention this specifically on the air, but when we're done the show, I have an idea for a possible prize.
Very cool.
And I would rectify this one up as a pretty big one. So I'll talk to you about it off the air. And
Very
see what you think.
Very excited to hear about that. What was the other topic I wanted real quick? Oh yeah, that's all I had really. But I did have an interesting week, and I've been dying to get to talk to you about it, because I sat down with the very loud Chinese gentleman that ruined our podcasts on a regular basis.
Oh, really?
I decided to speak to them, and they blew my frickin' mind.
Really?
Just turned my whole world completely upside down. What happened? There was a Chinese language newspaper sitting on the table in front of me, and one of these guys came up and grabbed it, and I said, "Hey, how do you know I'm not reading that?" And the whole room burst out laughing. That was a good one.
That's a good intro. That's good.
But he sat down and he said, "Do you want to know what it says?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I do." he would look kind of surprised, and he the first thing out of his mouth was he said, every single bit of news that the Western media tells us about China is a lie. He said the Epoch Times is one of the worst.
The which?
The Epoch Times, the one I've been quoting for a year, saying it's my favorite.
Oh,
he
really?
One of the worst. He says we don't get a single word of truth regarding China whatsoever.
Oh.
Which kind of took me by surprise, I'm not going to lie.
Well, that is very interesting, because I'd like to know what... I'd love to know what the differences are. What's the line?
He says, in his estimation, probably 97% of the Chinese population is very insanely happy right now. Xi Jinping is the best leader they've ever had. They're enjoying more freedom and luxury than they've ever had in their lives, and anything to the contrary is just not true.
So, did you happen to ask him then why is he here?
He's just here because he came here like 40 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But he said they are free to travel back and forth. That's not true. He can go home whenever he wants to.
I didn't know that was a thing that they could.
And he says he does quite often. The thing that really caught me off guard, I said, well, what about the Falun Gong and the persecution of the Falun Gong? And he said they don't recognize the People's Republic of China as their government. They don't follow any of their laws. They refuse to recognize them as the official government. That's why they're being persecuted. He said, what do you expect the Chinese government to do to you if you don't follow their laws, you don't listen to them, you don't obey them, you pretend they don't exist? They're going to come down hard on you. He said, everyone in China has complete religious freedom. But if you're going to be a dick to an evil communist, that's what's going to happen. So he said, all they have to do is admit that he's their leader, and they'd be fine. They can do whatever the hell they want.
They just have to admit that he's the leader.
They have to admit, they don't recognize the government. They don't acknowledge it as their government. So they don't follow any of the laws. They don't pay any of their taxes. They don't do anything they're supposed to do. So they get picked on.
So as long as you pay your taxes...
Well, it's not just a money thing. It's these people don't recognize, so they don't, get their driver's licenses or whatever it may be, anything legal, they don't follow.
Really?
They don't recognize it as their law because they don't recognize the communist government as their government. So they're like those free men that we have here?
Yeah.
They're like that.
Holy shit, really?
That's why they're being persecuted.
Oh.
That makes perfect sense. I'd persecute them too. They're just flagrantly breaking the law. He said religious freedom is huge there. Everyone has religious freedom. He says it's stupid to think otherwise.
Are they allowed to publicly speak out against their government?
They are, but they don't. They just don't.
I always remember hearing this story about there's in some square in central China, there's this park, and in this park is a little podium box thing.
Right.
And this box is meant for the citizens to be able to stand up and say whatever they want, as long as it's not against the main religion, against government,
right,
or complaining about your family.
Yeah, I didn't even think to ask because he said nobody complains about the government. It's the best government they've ever had. Corruption has been completely eliminated basically, and there really can't be corruption because they're all appointed. Like the next three leaders, he gets to pick the next three leaders that follow him. So he really can't have rigged elections.
Huh. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it was really... Now, I don't know. Maybe he's just a really good propaganda agent. But
see, because that's what you got to assume. What got to assume with the whole thing.
Well, and they've sent these people to come speak to Eric and Gord. Like, that's why he singled me out, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. They're probably specifically placed in that place just to get your attention.
I would think so. I knew they were gonna